Spring inversion of control. You can call like a Spring IOC, Spring inversion of control, or also Spring DI or Spring dependency injection. Spring DI. Spring dependency injection. Okay, what it is? All these are common sentences. Okay, what it is? So it is nothing but, let's say, you have actually a class. Let's say this is of electricity bill generator. This is electricity bill generator. And similarly, you have actually some other classes where print service. Okay, this is print service. And similarly, you have like a payment service. So likewise, actually, you have like a many classes actually: print service, payment service, and payment service again has actually, if I say that, payment service again has credit card service. Okay, payment service has credit service, and this has another what is that? Google Pay service. Okay. Another service called Paytm service. Okay, and cash payment service. So it has like a many other dependencies. So payment service can have all this embedded in that one dependency. So depending on like a whatever it want, right? The service, maybe it is using appropriate service, and then this guy is part of here, and these are all actually coming up here. So if I want actually, right, what I can do it, I can create a class something like that. If I don't use Spring, I can create class like something like this. Class electricity bill generator. Okay, here I'll write dependencies. These are my dependencies, right? If I want to call print service equals to new print service. Okay, same way actually, private payment service equals to new payment service. Okay, Likewise, actually, I need to create instances every time. But this is actually a like what I call like a hard job. Every time you need to create instances and use them. Maybe in your methods and all, actually, you will be using them actually, which one needed and which one is not needed. This is actually a like a hectic job. You don't need to create or not, you don't need, you need actually all these object need to be instantiated. And some of times, right, you don't need actually everything into your uh, you can't actually control actually like which one is depending on which one, like a blueprint, right? Like whatever is said, if you are keep on writing all these things, right, it will be like a very difficult for you to manage it, like a which service is depending on which one. In real application, actually, it will be like a too much dependencies will be there. So let's see one of the real application from GitHub. uh, Yeah, so it's a pet clinic application. Okay, Spring project. Somewhere at somebody actually developed pet clinic. So let's go here and see it, how it is. It's a Spring Boot application, it seems. See here. So he is calling like a bonus repository. Here it is one thing. And okay. May not be good explain.
Sir, we can create online Spring Boot example.
Yeah, okay. I first actually I will jump onto Spring, and then once you're comfortable with the general Spring, then we can go with Spring Boot. Immediately, actually, it won't take much time actually to jump onto Spring Boot. I'm not spending very much time on Spring.
These both are same, right, sir?
No, I'll explain that when the time comes. They both are same but not same. No, we don't have much examples actually. So we can take this one. So every bean, maybe like every class is depending on another class. Now actually we have class concept, right? Now we will jump onto the same word, but we will now in Spring actually we call the same thing as a bean. So it's the same class actually. We the terminology, the verbiage actually will be different going forward. In Spring, actually, a class is also equal as a bean. Every class in the Spring, right, we call that as a bean. The bean came from the Java, right? Java is kind of a beans, brewing beans. So that's why actually it came up like a from bean. Every class is also called as a bean. Okay, a bean can have like a multiple dependencies within that one. So in general, creating this instance and everything is kind of difficult, and also managing like this one is a managing from outsider is kind of a difficult. So what they did, they came up with a concept called uh, dependency injection. What it is, instead of you creating instantiate of this dependencies, right? This is one dependency. Okay? This is a bean one. This is a bean two. Okay? Instead of having this you creating a new instance of this one, they came up with a concept called Spring, where this guy will actually identify what your application needed, and he will actually uh, create instance and supply to you. Also, right, here you are creating the problem is okay, electricity bill generator, right? Now there might be something some other class also for electricity bill generator only. So let's say that this is bill generator, this is meter recorder. So even meter recorder actually needs print service. Okay, this electricity bill generator needs a print service, and meter recorder also needs print service. As soon as the meter recorded, actually the bill will be generated, and our meter recorder actually will update to print service something reports and all, right? So it's actually now, if you look into this one, if you keep like this, right, how many print service or objects are created?
One, sir.
No, two, right? One here and one
Okay.
here.
Let's get it. Yes.
So
That
there is a problem, right? So two objects actually created and two objects actually injected into this one. But is it needed actually to create two objects? Maybe yes, maybe may not be no. So if I want to avoid it, what's the approach? Approach is like I will create a print service singleton. Okay, so singleton, right? As I mentioned, it's like a private constructor. Yeah, by the way, actually, nobody sent me design. What is design? Only Sabha sent it. Even though you got like an extra holiday, I think you were not actually, you didn't spend any time on working on this one. Now, what additional setup is required for singleton?
we have.
Yeah, Kavya, can you go? Kavya, can you tell like what else is required in singleton?
Sure. Hello.
Yeah, tell me. Okay. Shravani, can you tell like what else required to create singleton? Shravani, can you hear me? Dakshani, can you tell?
We need to create the static variable. It means like a static
Okay.
method.
Okay, I'm creating static variable, private static print service instance. Okay, next.
Okay, before constructor, after constructor, we have to call that method, sir. We have to create one type get instance method given any
Okay,
name.
public print service static, right? It is
Yes.
static. It returns same class in service, new instance. Yeah. So here actually you will check whether
Private.
if this instance equals
If
to null,
then
then
we have to instance.
instance equals to new print service.
Yes.
Okay, and return instance.
Instance. Sir, it must be the static method, right?
Yeah, static only created, right?
You created public.
Yeah, public. It needs to be public, otherwise it cannot be accessible outside of the package.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the way actually I need to create static single instance singleton, and then I instead of doing new, I can call print service dot new instance. Print service dot new instance. This is one way, so that actually only one print service will be existing in this application, not two. Okay. This is one way of doing it. But every time actually, let's say actually this one is developed by Shravani. This is being developed by Dakshani. This is developed by Saba. So all three together actually developing it, and you don't know actually like how whether this guy is implemented as a singleton or not. Actually, you don't know. Maybe he might have done wrong, or he might have done anything actually. Like, so instead of doing this one, right? Every time actually he might have done uh, instance equals to new print service, which will return every time a new instance. Right? If a condition is not there, it will create every time a new instance, right? So there might be like anything. These kind of problems can occur, like human mistakes or intentional mistakes. So to avoid this one, what Spring came up, right? Spring again, a open source framework, just like our Log4j, Spring open source framework. They came up with a container concept. So what it is, they will keep a Spring container. Okay, maybe I will go to the next slide. They created like a Spring container. Within this Spring container, okay, it's like a on top of your Java VM. You can say that this is your Java VM, right? It's JVM. On top of actually your JVM, there will be like a Spring container. In Spring container, everything actually they will manage it like a beans. Okay, this is bean 1, bean 2, bean 3. So if these things, right, what they will do, they will intelligently manage it. Okay, B1 needs, for example, in this case, right, electricity, in our previous example, electricity bill generator, okay, EG, and electricity bill, electric meter reader, EMR, EG, right, and it has like a print service, PS. It has again credit card service or whatever it is, right? So it knows actually, this container will intelligently manage it. Okay, electricity bill needs this payments, print service. Electricity bill needs this payment service. Payment, right? So this guy need credit card service. This guy needs credit card service. This guy need maybe this guy also need not only payment service. This guy also need cash service. So these all things actually Spring knows it like a intelligently, and it automatically gives you without actually you creating a new instance, or without you creating new operator, just whatever we did here. So how it will create it, right? So we, if it is somebody is creating, actually we need to tell that okay, this is my requirement, right? Spring container don't know until unless you give them some instructions. That instructions, there are two parts of two types of instructions. One is XML instructions. Okay, you can give XML. We already know XML. What is XML? Or actually we know bean based instruction. Okay, in the bean itself, actually you can give it. What is XML instruction? Okay, so XML instruction is, okay, what you will specify, it will be like a bean. Okay, so bean, right? Everything, everything is bean. Every class is a bean in Spring. That's how the notation goes, the verbiage and all. Bean, we can give like a some name, ID name, ID equals to, you can give like a EEG, electricity bill generator. Name equals to, you can also give like something, something like EG. Okay, class equals to, this is important. These two are not much important, but this is what actually more important. Class equals to com dot lmink dot eb dot eg. You need to give the full path of class, and then you can close this one. So this represents this one. This guy holds this one. Okay. Similarly, we'll create another bean for, let's say it's a print service, PS, and it is print service. Maybe I can create so print service. Okay. Likewise, I can create it. So similarly, I can create payment service. It's a payment. It's payment. Payment. Okay. We created single class representation in XML. First, I'm explaining about XML, but I will also go through Java or Bean. Okay, same thing actually we can create in Java also. So I created it, right? But how will you actually, um, how will you tell container that, okay, this electricity bill generator needed payment service and print service? That's where it comes. So it comes like a property. There are many ways, not many ways, there are three ways actually. First, actually, I'm setting up through property. Property name equals to, let's say, PS, payment service. And then you will give ref equals to this guy, whatever the name or ID you give, right? So this guy name actually will give it. Okay. This is property, and I'm closing property tag. Okay. Same way, I will also give payment. So this guy is payment. So now you tell me, by looking up this one, right? Do you know like a what is high level class structure of EQ? Sorry, EG. So EG here, a blueprint actually you can think like EG is nothing but, okay. So EG is nothing but class electricity bill generator. Okay. So what I mentioned, it has property PS, private. What of type is this PS? Reference is equals to PS, payments like print service. This way, print service, private, print service, PS. Okay, same way actually, another variable, private. What is this? Name is payment, and of type payment, payment, payment. This is the another type. So you can easily to take that as a blueprint and imagine like a what other dependencies it has it. It also called as inversion of control. Okay. Uh, the same thing also called as inversion of control, dependency injection, all are synonym. Okay. This is the way actually you can represent it. And Spring container will create actually your objects as needed. How it is? Let's look into this one. I'm giving like a Spring IOC inversion of control. So I'm creating, as I mentioned, it is electricity bill generator. I'm calling it's electricity meter reader. It has another dependency called print service. It has another dependency also called payment service. So this payment service again is depending on uh, credit card service. cash service. Mm, Google Pay. Okay, so this is what actually we have. Now what I need to do, I need to go here in the payment electricity bill generator. I will just create private payment service is needed. Payment service, private uh, print service. I have created. Now here, right, I will just create a void uh, generate bill, okay, which will take uh, string meter number int units. So here actually it calls first actually print payment service. In generate bill, once again, payment service, print service, pay bill. This is pay bill. So what it will do? First, actually, it pays the bill, payment service, okay, and then it will print receipt. Okay, so the print it prints the receipt. So let's go and implement in the payment service. Okay. It has again various level of it acts as a fascia. So it has credit card service. Okay. It has what it has cash service. It has Google Pay service. It what it will do? Boolean pay and string mode. String mode, big decimal amount. Okay, so it returns whether payment is successful or not. When is payment successful? Return is payment successful. As of now, it's empty method, nothing there. Okay, this also will call upon similarly actually in credit card. It does not have mode because we already know mode here. So similar thing there in the Google Pay. Cash service. So it has in the cash service as well. So here what I will do, if payment service dot pay, maybe I will tell that string mode of payment. Mode of payment also I will pass it. If it is successful, so here actually the calculated price that I am taking big decimal. Total amount equals to, as of now, let's say it's just $10 minimum payment. Actually, I'm paying it total amount. Okay, if it is successful, then what I am going to do here, there is a print receipt, public void print receipt. Okay. nothing else. I'm not doing any much stuff here. So it will print service dot print receipt. Okay. So these all okay. As of now, these are not instantiated. If you notice, actually these are not instantiated. So how actually they will be instantiated, right? So what I will do here, I will go in the resource section. Okay. Before I go, actually, let's go to pom.xml and add the dependency required for Spring. So far, actually, did you understand what my requirement it is? I'm not instantiating this one. I want these to be instantiated, right? If I call, let's say, so let me try actually. If I what in the debug mode, I will show you. Okay, I'm debugging this one. Let's see what is existing as of now. So if you look this one, right, payment service is null, print service is null. So immediately what happens here, it will throw a null pointer exception because we are calling on the null and it throws a null pointer exception, right? Because I am not instancing this one. One way is actually I can create new payment service to avoid the null pointer exception. But if I do actually every time in maybe this is okay. Let's say goes to new payment print service. Here also, this one, right? This the same service actually I'm using here also in the electricity bill meter reader. Okay. Here, right, print service, what it has, along with the print receipt, it has another method called print bill. Here in electricity bill generator, what I'm meter reader, public void generate bill. Okay. Here what I'm doing, calculate bill units. Okay. And then print bill. So that's print service dot print bill. This is what actually I'm using it service here. In electricity bill meter reader, I'm using this. But the problem here is if I do this one, right? Here one instance actually I'm creating. Okay. And here one instance actually another instance I'm creating it here. Two instances of print service is existing in my container. But I don't want that one. I want to create only one instance of print service like a singleton. One way is, as I said, that I can go and create a private print service. Okay. And then public static print service, new instance. This is the way I can create it. And whenever actually instead of actually creating a new instance here, right, I can create new instance. Likewise, actually I can create it. Here also same thing, meter reader. So there will be only one object exist within the JVM or container. But every time actually creating singleton, like in last class I explained, right, Lombok, a simple way of building builder pattern, right? So similarly, like why can't actually, if something is automatically creating for you, why can't we use that one? Okay, let's jump on to creation, right? That's why I told you like XML syntax declaration here, right? How you can create it. So in order to use this one, we need to use Spring container. Spring container is again comes from Spring JVM. So which is like a Spring context here. Spring core and Spring context. Okay, these two are required. Uh, uh, let's first actually import Spring uh, core, and then we'll go, if required, actually we'll go with the Spring context. So look at this one, building blocks building blocks for Spring, that conjunction with Spring Beans provides dependency injection and IOC features. So this is what actually I want, IOC. IOC means inversion of control or dependency injection. Okay, so let me take this guy and put it in my pom.xml. Again, pom.xml is the dependency management tool. Okay, let me load it back. Maven reload. Okay, so this is what actually my Spring definition is. Okay, now what I will do, I will create in resources section, I'll create something called a XML file to create the application context.xml. Okay, simple XML. One second, let me take yeah, so this is what we need it. Beans. Okay, this is what actually we need to create it. there is a beans, and I haven't covered this one. For now, actually, just ignore these things. What is schema validation and all? I highly covered actually, but I didn't cover in depth. I will cover actually when the time comes, one more time. But this is just a sample illustration only. We may not use XML configuration. That's why actually we will go from here. Okay, here bean. Okay, I think context is also required. It's not able to find it. One second. Where is my application context? Spring beans is required. Not only this one, we need spring beans also. Yeah, this is the one. Spring core, spring beans, we need it. Yeah, it's resolved. So here actually, let's say now I create bean ID equals to, I'll give electricity bill generator class equals to, I need to give the full class path name. Okay. So same way, what I want, all the beans actually I'm just creating it, and then this is XT meter reader. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So where we are, yeah, I am creating application context XML, right? So here actually, oh, what happened? This beans not saved. Yeah, we have it. Okay. So here, what we do, we create bean ID equals to, let's say, electricity bill generator class equals to, we'll give the class later. Okay. This is one thing. Next thing, what I want, electricity meter reader. Okay. Same way, I want payment service. Within payment service, I want credit card, it's card service. Card service. Within this card service, Google Pay service, cash service, and we have print service. So for each and everything, actually, I will need a full class name. So what I will do, I will create class path reference. Okay, I'll go here. Yeah, this is the full class name, electricity bill generator. and this is copy path references, copy references, and this is for this one. Same way, payment service, copy, this is payment service, and card service is what this one. Okay, so this is the way actually I created all the beans. Now I need to start putting them in the dependency injection. I need to inject them. Which class contains what? So let's go here. Today we'll learn about property based injection. Okay, so instead of doing this one, what I will do in this electricity bill generator, okay, it's private, right? Private. I will take this name, payment service name. It's a property, right? At the end of the day, it's a property. So property name equals to this one. Ref equals to what I am going to do. This payment service ID I am giving it. Property is closed. And I have one more property called within this electricity bill generator, print service. I'll give that one also. And ref equals to print service. Yeah, this is the one, print service. Okay, we have this one. So I created exactly whatever the properties are there in my class. Okay, I created here also. Now let's see. This is the way actually I'm giving instruction to my Spring container. Okay, I'm telling that container, when you are creating this one, also create these two properties and put them here. That's called dependency injection or inversion of control. When you are creating this object, right? So every time actually you create a bean, right? That's time actually you are creating an object of this one. Instead of you creating, Spring container is doing that one. So what we are telling that, okay, when you are doing it, okay, you also give me these two objects. I don't want to instantiate them. You instantiate and maintain that objects. I'm not responsible for that. Okay, that's what actually we're telling. Okay, it's so far well and good. Now, actually, how does your if you run this one, right? You still see the same problem. Okay, what happened? Electricity bill, pay bill. Okay, I think you still have actually the same problem and it throws null pointer exception. So what's the point of application context? Why it is there, right? Though we created application context, we didn't tell we that actually okay where actually we didn't use them. So that's the thing actually we will do it here now. Instead of actually in order to use it, instead of doing this way, what we will do, we'll comment out this one. Okay. So we need to actually tell our Spring container that, okay, take this instruction, okay, and then initialize all the objects. So for that, what we do, application, okay, I think we need Spring context also. Spring context. These three things: core, beans, context. I think that's all required, nothing more for now. Am I recording?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So application context, right? So application context equals to new. You need to instantiate application context. But application context is a interface actually here. If you look into this one, application context is a interface. How actually you can create application object, right? So there is a class called class path XML application context. Okay. So where it's a subclass of the, it's implementation of the application context. So let's see application context, right? It says extend application context, abstract. Abstract application context. Yeah, here it is. So in a legacy, when it is going down, the application context is there. Configurable application context and all actually it's mentioned, and I'm using the super class. And here you need to tell like what is the class path application context means actually I'm loading from my class path. Resources is in the class path section, right? It's already there in the class path. So I'm loading this guy, this name. I'm telling that, okay, load from class path. Refactor, rename, cancel. And I'm telling that, okay, load, hey, load application context, which is this name. Okay, application, my Spring configuration is exist in this one. Okay, application context XML. And this is in the class path. That class path is coming from class path XML application context. Okay, that's what you need to give it. So with that, what happens is your container will load. Your container, right? JVM is right, and your container is loaded. Now you need to get the bean, like this bean, electricity bill generator. So how will you get that? Electricity bill generator equals to, from application context, okay, there is a method called get bean. Okay, and you need to pass the bean name, whatever, like for example, in the application context, you told this one, right? This is what actually represents this one. So you just need to give that in the application context, and you need to cast it, or else actually what you need to do, you need to tell here itself, like stable generator dot class. So it will give the electricity bill generator. Now with this, look that magic what happens. Why it's showing error? Okay, no error. Last time it failed. Now let's see what happens. I'm going in the debug mode now. Debug. Okay. One thing I forgot actually. It's a setter injection. What I'm using it, setter injection. So I need to have a setters for these two methods. Just set methods. Your application, what happens, right? With these setter injections, your Spring container, when it is loading, the Spring container will call those setter methods and set that one. So yeah, let's see now. Okay. Now look at this one. Print service is actually coming from instantiated. A object is created. It's not null. Payment service also, it's not null. But if you look this one, inside payment service, right? Everything is null, card service and all. Why? Because I didn't tell my Spring container what needs to be there in the payment service. If I want, right, I need to specify that what needs to be there, and I need to put them also. So this is how actually you are letting your object creation responsibility to Spring container. Okay, you are letting you are giving the responsibility of object creation, object lifecycle to Spring container, so that you only focus on business logic only. And it knows like a what and all actually needed. You are giving that instructions to Spring container that what beans needs what beans is composed of what beans. That's what actually you are giving in the XML declaration. So far, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Your questions.
Yes, sir. That XML is a like container, Spring container, like.
No, it's instruction for Spring container.
Yes,
This
sir.
XML
Sir.
is a instructions for Spring container.
Okay.
What and all actually, what is the bean, and what beans is required will be given here.
Okay. Where is container then?
The container, if you look into my test program, here it is, application context, right? Here we are telling, okay, hey Spring, load this XML configuration and make the Spring container. Here actually it will create a Spring container. And from Spring container or application context, okay, get beans, get the required beans. It's not like a instantiating. You don't need to instantiate anymore. This application context will have all the beans of whatever you represented here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, right, let's say payment service. I want to inject payment service also as this one. Right? What steps is required? Okay. So first thing is I need to have this is a setter injection, what we are using it. So I need to generate setters for all these three methods. Okay. Card service, cash service, everything. Next one is I need to go to application context XML. In payment service, I need to create property name equals to what it is. The exact name actually, whatever I'm using here, right? This name, I need to use it here against the name, property name equals to. And ref equals to card service, right? What is card service here? This card service is a credit card service. So where is credit card service here? Credit card service is here. What is the name of that one? ID of that one? I just give ID. Okay, this is one. So same way I will give it for others also. One thing I want to tell you on the XML, okay, self-closing statement. In XML, self-closing is here actually property open tag, right? And then a end tag also there, right? So similarly, if it is a simple type, you can use this one. That means actually you don't need to again specify slash property. This itself will be equal to this one. Okay, that going forward we'll be using for simple types like that only. Now, what is the other service we have? Card service, cash service, and other services, Google Pay service. Okay, Google Pay service represents Google Pay service from here. I'm copy pasting it. Cash service represents from cash service ID. Yes, I represented here.
Sir,
Okay.
I
Now,
have one doubt.
yes,
It is ID means like a variables.
yeah, ID is anything actually can give. Here actually anything you can give, but this
Ah.
need to be matching here reference.
No, sir. I'm asking if I'm an example. I'm asking if
Yeah,
28
just a
like,
name. Yeah, just a name. That's it.
just a name
Anything.
which it's a class you given something like dot which service it will be there, right?
Exactly. So what this is ID, right? ID can be anything because only one bean is there, right? Only one class we are representing. Dakshayani. So you can give like a DN is your name. Dakshayani Nala, right? So yeah, Saba can give like a Saba Begum, like SB equals to Saba Begum. So that's what actually she wants to give like or you can give like an entire class name also. It's up to you. But recommended is just give the class name, nothing else required. If multiple classes are there with this one, you need to choose like a wisely, like a what would be appropriate class name. Okay.
Is it mandatory?
Now,
Is it mandatory
yeah,
to have the same name?
ID. No. ID or name, one of them is required. If ID is given, right, ID will be becoming name. Okay. If name is given,
ID
name will be
name,
ID. They can, yeah, ID and it has name also. This one, name also. This both goes like a vice versa. It does not matter which one you use it.
Sir, you wrote 19, 20, 21 line, right?
Yeah.
Card service. That card service will be in payment service method, right? Class.
Correct. So here, whatever you are giving card service here, right? Here, intentionally, I didn't give like a credit card service, just to elaborate, explain you. It is card service. Can you see that? It's a card service. This name should come exactly here in the name section here, because that's what the property is. Based on this property name, it verify.
Okay, but by reference name also.
Yeah, I'm coming there. So this name, okay, this name should exactly match in the property name section. Why? Because it goes and find a setter for that one in order to create the bean injection.
We pick up in the attributes from payment service. Okay.
Right. Yeah, reference is right. This reference to the ID of the actual bean. So here actually reference that, right? So for example, here it is credit card service, right? Then I will give credit card service here.
Okay, whatever name has to given, we have to give that name.
Correct. This and this one should be same.
Okay.
Reference is only in the XML, but name, property name is representing Java.
Okay, that must be అది మాత్రం ఆ నేమ్ మాత్రం కంపల్సరీ మనం ఏ సర్వీస్ యొక్క నేమ్ నుంచి యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం అది సేమ్ ఉండాలి.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's see what happens. The magic, right? Now look, stop and run. print service, payment service, right? If you look into this one payment service, again, it has, earlier, it was not actually,
Instantiate.
you didn't create any instance of that one, right? Payment service, but within the payment service also, everything is instantiated for you, readily available.
So it
Okay,
is
so
will automatically instantiate the object.
correct. It instantiates and give all, it takes care of the life cycle of the object. When it is to create, when it is to die, actually, it on top of the JVM, it takes care of that one according to your need. And what your need, what your requirement, you will need to specify in this XML. XML.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? We are wrapping for today. Any questions?
No, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
will you commit this code?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Okay. Yeah, I committed it, and maybe I will